Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has continued to tumble downwards throughout the week, resulting in a retest of $91,000 just yesterday. We're going to dive into the charts today to talk about the potential here for a bottom for Bitcoin and what exactly we're looking out for on the short time frame to signal the reversal back upwards. As always though, before we get into all that, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel, and if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. Alrighty guys, so before we get into the analysis part of this video, let's quickly talk about the context for the recent price action and everything that's been going on in the world of crypto and risk assets in the last week-ish, right? So we started off quite bullish. We broke above this massive level of resistance here at $100,000 and rallied all the way up to 102K before unfortunately rejecting upon some quite, bearish economic news, the JOLTS labor churn data that came out, I think, on Thursday or Tuesday. And we continue to tumble throughout the week until we tapped $91,000. Now, 91K is a huge level of support, guys. If you guys have seen the high time frame charts at all, that is our current most crucial level of macro support and the range low for this sort of horizontal chop zone that we're currently experiencing here from Bitcoin. And so, of course, after tapping that level yesterday, we saw a little bit of a bounce. It looks a little unnatural. We had 13 straight green candles, but regardless, we bounced, pushing all the way up to 95,000 until last night. NFP data came out, once again bearish for the risk asset market. So it came out higher than forecasted at about 256,000 as opposed to the forecasted 200. And if you guys know what NFP is, essentially it is one of the leading indicators for inflation. That's really all we need to know about that in terms of the risk asset market. And if inflation is going to be higher, we have a lower probability of seeing interest rate cuts throughout 2025. So already we saw the results of that on FedWatch, and the probabilities of seeing a rate cut has decreased down to 2.7% as opposed to earlier this week at 4.5%. So the market's really flipping the narrative here for 2025, and Bitcoin is reflecting that price action. However, as we start to approach levels such as macro supports and $91,000 and range lows for these sort of massive horizontal consolidation periods, it's time to talk about the possibility here for a reversal back upwards. What exactly are we looking for here to signal that reversal? And on the flip side, what can we expect if Bitcoin loses $91,000 on a daily time frame and we see a tumble below this sort of macro range that we have here on the high time frame charts? Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BTC. We can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BTC is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. So starting off our analysis on these short time frame charts, let's talk about what's going to signal a reversal here on these smaller time frames before we move into what would establish a higher time frame bullish continuation of that reversal on the high time frame charts. So on the short time frame charts here, we have our sort of key levels mapped out by this previous downtrend that Bitcoin was in just yesterday, right? So we have 3 points of validation for that trend line, and as you can see, just yesterday night, I think, or afternoon, we broke out of the structural downtrend and then went on to retest the levels of resistance coinciding with those prior highs in that downtrend. You can also see it mapped out if you use the Smart Money Concepts indicator on TradingView. So after that retest, we fell down, dropping as a result of NFP data, right? And retested that dynamic trend line as a base of support, moving up to bounce and once again retesting that trend line again. So that level of that horizontal resistance once again. So that level of resistance exists between $94.8 to $95.6 thousand, and it is currently the biggest level that we need to clear here on the short time frame to flip the narrative from being short time frame bearish to bullish. That's going to signal that this bounce had enough of an impact at $91,000 to push the narrative of the short time frame charts and allow a bullish continuation, taking us then to the next horizontal range of resistance, the prior high or the range high in that short-term frame downtrend at $97,000. And then of course on the higher time frames, if we zoom out to the 4-hour chart, we have a level of resistance right there, right? Just above that 97k. So that ranges from 97 to 98. And a 4-hour candle close, flipping that as a base of support, will then facilitate a bullish continuation to retest the range high of this larger sort of macro horizontal channel that Bitcoin is consolidating within right now, right? That is one of the most crucial levels of resistance that we have here on the way back up. Now that takes us to talk about then the higher time frame narrative and the possibility here for a bullish reversal on the higher time frame. So moving into the daily chart, what we're really looking out for here in terms of signaling a macro reversal for Bitcoin, and I guess signaling the bottom here and that Bitcoin's not going to fall below $90,000, and we're more likely to see a retest of 108 and, you know, the end of this sort of bearish consolidation, is first of all a crack above $100,000 and an establishment of that level as a base of support. That is what we failed to do in this previous breakout just earlier this week, right? We pushed above $100,000 and tested 102, but upon failing to hold that as a basis of what, we re-entered the macro channel and went all the way back down to retest the range low of that at 91,000, right? If we take a look at this previous price action over here, it was the establishment of $100,000 as a base of support that facilitated a push above 102 and into the all-time high. So that is what we need to see again on the daily time frame, is a flip of that level. And then of course, a break of $102,000 is going to signal that move up to 108,000. That's going to be likely result in a clean breakout. So essentially, until we see either $91,000 lost on a high time frame, resulting in a high time frame bearish continuation, or 95k lost, resulting in a short time frame bullish continuation, until we establish high time frame support on 100k, you know, we can pretty much expect continued consolidation within this range, right? This is our sort of neutral territory as of right now. And that brings us into the bearish case scenario now. So if we lose $91,000, what would that mean? That would essentially tell us that we are losing a level of support that we have held for the last nearly 2-month period. So that would be pretty huge. And right below it, you guys can see here on the VIPV, Bitcoin has quite an extended sort of volume gap over here. So that tells us that if we lose that level and coinciding levels of sell-side liquidity, we could see a continued drop that could take us as low as $76,000 or $77,000, the end of that volume gap over there. So zooming right into the daily time frame chart then, the levels of support that we have sitting below $91,000 are, first of all, 89,800 with Southside liquidity at 88.8, and then just below that we have this other level of support at 87.3, Southside liquidity at 85. So it is that 85k level, dropping below 85, so closing below there on a daily time frame is very likely going to send us to travel into that volume gap. The next level of support that we have is at $82,000, and then right below that, the 76k level, right? So that will result in a quite extensive drop for Bitcoin. For example, if we go from where we are right now, taking us all the way down to 76 would be an 18% move. I think it's highly unlikely that that's going to happen, purely because 91k has held as such a strong level of support thus far, and there is no indication really that that is going to be lost, and support is support until it's not. But it's still good to know what to expect if we see that sort of bearish continuation. So one last thing that we're going to be looking out for as well in terms of signaling the possibility and the likelihood of a bounce here from Bitcoin is going to be the upcoming weekly candle close. So what we want from this next candle close in 2 days time, or just under 2 days time, is for it to be above the opening price for the week before. So 93,700, that is where we want the close to be above, purely because if we close below, Bitcoin prints an engulfing candle, a bearish engulfing candle for the week, after retesting 102k resistance, right? So that would kind of signal that the level of resistance there is so strong that it's more likely then that on a high time frame we continue to push into $91,000, and that is when we experience, I guess, a lot of weakness, right? And the likelihood, if we continue to see these strong retests of $91,000 of breaking below that, is going to be, steadily increasing, right? As we eat through that buy wall, the probability of finally pushing through it increases with each retest. So that is really what we're looking out for on the charts overall, guys. So I would say things are looking relatively neutral. We've bounced on support over here. Nothing's looking particularly bullish as of right now. The short-term frame isn't particularly displaying much strength, but it's good to see that Bitcoin has established some sort of local bottom at $91,000, and we have seen that reversal, that push back upwards. But yeah, like I said, we're still waiting for that bullish validation on the hourly chart, that close above the prior high on that short-term frame sort of downtrend. And on the high time frame, of course, we're still very, very far away from that validation as well. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnext to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.